All right. So last patch, I made my build video very late into the patch. So this patch, I'm gonna make sure it's right when the patch drops or around the time. So this is maybe what, like a week after the patch dropped, I'd say. Update 40. This is my updated Stamplar build. You know, OG Stamplar build. You don't see Stamplars running Rally anymore. I just love Rally. I love how it feels. So I try to keep that core Stamplar feel with all my builds. So this is the updated version. As you can see, there's some new skills, but we'll get right into it. We'll go into the stat sheet. We'll go buff stat sheet here. Buff stat sheet, 6,000 spell damage, 6,100 spell pen. Resist is 2,300. Spell, 2,000, or 23,000, I mean. Spell, 22,000 physical. And then we got about 2k crit resist. Stam Recov is about 2,000 with a pot. Not to mention, I love the 2H passive where you get 30%, so that will go up once you kill somebody. 1,200 about mag recov. The max stats are really low right now because we're running Death Dealers, so that will go up to, health would be around 28, max stam will be around 26, and max mag will be around 18, 19, somewhere around there. We're running Smoked Bear Hunch. We got the Surfeit Mundustone on, and we are an Orc, as you can see by my player. Let's get into the sets here. Just go ahead. We'll go into the pots real quick. Pots wise, it's really kind of preference based. I feel like I love and move pots. And move pots are great, especially on Stamplar. But tri-pots are going to be great for sustaining your mag. You're going to need a lot of mag on this build because our cleanse is also our snare immunity. We are not running a snare immunity, which is tough, but it works out. It does work out because the cleanse is so strong on Templar. Now, sets-wise. Maelstrom got to change. And this is awesome. This is awesome for Stamplar. For Plar in general. We will get the max, as you can see, it's the maximum of 560. We will get that max once we buff up fully. Now, and also, we were running Vate Strand last patch. This patch we're running Maelstrom, so we get that pen, that extra pen for the perfected version. And the perfected Vate Strand only gave you stamina. So this is a lot stronger already just from the perfected version. Now, the change increases your damage done with direct damage attacks after you hit a critical charge by 560 is what it will be. This is great. It's going to buff every single one of our jabs. It's going to buff our Burning Light. It's going to buff our light attacks. It's going to buff our Power of the Light. It's going to buff our DB. It's going to buff everything by 560, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it will stack up, especially with jabs and Burning Light. That damage will stack up very, very, very well. On top of that, we have the 1200 pen. So, really strong. Back bar, we still have BRP. You want powered on these. I don't have them because I'm poor, but you want powered on these. And then poisons. Ideally, you would like to run different poisons. The immunity poisons, the CC immunity poisons, escapist they're called. You would rather run those. Those would be better. But I'm running double dots right now because again I'm poor. Back up to here. We want a sharpened greatsword or a Nirnhorn Maul. Either one. And we're running weapon damage enchant just for more weapon damage. Now, Balorgs, we still have Balorgs on. I love this. When we are able to just hit our DB and just jab away and it just deals massive damage, it's beautiful. There's nothing like it. There's nothing better than hitting a DB and just dealing massive damage. Next set, Night Mothers. I think Night Mothers is probably the best set you can run on a Templar. Templar have such a difficult time getting Major Breach. I mean, you could get it from Sword and Board, you can get it from Destro. We're not running either, so there's literally no way we could get a Breach unless we ran Caltraps, and then Caltraps are not very strong, at least solo wise. I don't think. This just allows you to just keep Breach up at all times. 6k pen, it basically gives us 6k pen. It's one of the best sets in the game, I think. It's great. I love this set. Yeah. Heavy armor for the chest, reinforced. We got a medium shoulder, light waist, medium gloves, medium legs, medium boots. I like well fitted a lot because I like to sprint and roll dodge, so I run well fitted. Enchants, the big pieces tri-stat. Small pieces can just be stam, but tri-stat if you fancy. Again, we have 2-piece potentates just like last patch. I like one training, one druids is good, but I like to be different. You know, so potentates, I like potentates. 3% damage reduction. This is strong. I think it's very strong. 3% is a lot, really. Like, if you really think about it, 3% is a lot. We have a different mythic this patch. Death Dealers is what I'm running instead of what was it? What was I running before? Doverall. I was running Doverall before. Swapped it to Death Dealers just because we took off our shuffle. So I feel like Doverall is kind of hard to use without shuffle. It's just kind of, it feels weird. So Death Dealers, man, this is probably one of the best PvP mythics out there. This is very strong. It's right up next to Markin. We do not want to use Markin on this build because we only have one 5-piece set. So Markin would be horrible on this build. Death Dealers is what we want. Just make sure you kind of want to play defensive-ish before we go into a fight. Just because you want those extra stacks. I mean, we're only sitting at 25,000 max health at the beginning of a fight, but then that will slowly go up to 28 as we get into the fight a little deeper. Now let's go to skills. Skills wise, for the front bar, we got Pallight, strong burst. This is very, very, very strong. Good ability, great ability. Love this ability. It really just makes our burst just hit that much harder. Rally, like I said before, Rally is gonna be on my builds. I like the feel of it. I think it's more fun that way. It's a bit of a challenge. This is not a meta build. This is not meant to be a build that anyone can run. You have to really learn this build and get good at it. And that's the beauty of it. That's why it's so much fun. It's just, you know, it's just a lot of fun. Fun build. Camel Hunter, we need this. This is very huge. Give us extra weapon and spell damage for slotting it, and it gives us major savagery and berserk when you hit somebody from flank or crit somebody from the flank. Stampede, we know why we're running this. It's a great gap closer as well. Stampede is an awesome gap closer. This will proc your Night Mothers right off the bat as well in a fight. Right off the bat, your Night Mothers will be procced. So you don't have to worry about needing to crit to proc your Night Mothers. No matter what, your Night Mothers will be procced because it's crit rush. You know, you crit no matter what. So this is great. This is awesome, and it procs our Maelstrom. Biting jabs. Biting jabs is not very good anymore, but it does the trick. Like I said, Maelstrom buffs this, so it does pretty well with Maelstrom on. Damage overall is pretty fat on this build. Now, Dawnbreaker. This is our stun. This is our ultimate. This is what we're gonna be using. You know, this is what we needed for our burst. This is it. This is our stun. This is huge. It usually hits thick. The dot hits even thicker. So, great ability. Back bar. Solar Barrage just got buffed like 2 patches ago. Or last patch actually. Damage done with class abilities increased by 5%. This is great. It's going to buff our Power Light. It's going to buff our jab. It's going to buff our Solar Barrage as well. This is awesome. Awesome skill. And it also ticks every 2 seconds. Does a little extra damage to everybody around you. Quick Cloak. This is for our BRP. So on top of the 5% that you get from this, we get 6% from this ticking on somebody as well. So we have multipliers on multipliers on multipliers on this build. Now, it gives us major evasion, which is huge. Awesome. Also does some damage. Also gives us expedition, which is awesome. This skill is awesome. I love this skill. Restoring focus, great ability. If you stand in your ruin, it's gonna heal you for a ton. It's gonna heal you for a lot. If you're ever struggling, you know, you're kiting, just line of sight around the wall, put your ruin down, vigor up, cleanse, and the hots, the amount of hots that you're gonna get from this is ridiculous. You're going to get so much hot from this, it's gonna be very strong. Just all 3 of those abilities stacked up, very strong hots. Extended Ritual. This is our cleanse. This is our snare immunity as well. So this is why we switched over to Orzorga's, because we took off Shuffle, and we need that extra mag recover for our just spamming of this ability. The healing of it is also very, very strong healing power that comes from it. Yeah, great ability. It's very expensive, but it does the trick, and it's also great for when you're dueling. The synergy is great. Resolving Vigor. This is gonna be our minor and physical, or minor resolve. You know, give us some resistance on top of that, and it's a great heal. This is, you know, bread and butter hot. This is the hot that you want to run on pretty much every build. We've got Temporal Guard for some more damage reduction. Same as Solar Barrage. This gives you 5% more damage. This is going to give you 5% less damage taken on top of the 6% less damage taken from your BRP dual wield. So a lot of damage reduction on this build. We got the Potentate damage reduction. We got the Temporal Guard damage reduction, and we got the BRP damage reduction. So a lot of damage reduction on this build. Not to mention we have about 29k max health. So the survivability on this build is pretty solid, I would say. Sustain, the max sustain is awesome on this build. I don't have issues with max sustain. Anyways, let's go to the champion tree. Oh, we want to be here. Fighting Finesse, we're critting a decent amount, so I love to have this just because it increases my damage and my healing. It does both for me, so this is a great ability. Focus Bending, more healing done, just makes me a little bit tankier. You know, gives me some more healing for pretty much all my abilities. This will buff. Besides Extended Ritual, that's the only one, or Cleansing Ritual. It's actually that's the only one it won't buff, but every other one it will buff. Direct damage attacks, this is just, you know, for that extra damage for your jabs, your Power of the Light, your Burning Light, your DB, all that good stuff is going to get buffed here. It also pairs well with your Maelstrom. Resilience, crit is very, very strong this patch, so you want to try to get as much crit resist as possible. Like Nightblades are hitting hard, Templars are hitting hard, Sorks are hitting hard with crits. Everything is hitting crazy with crits. Especially Nightblades, though. Nightblades is gonna be what gets you when you're Xing. Now, celerity, movement speed, huge. I think movement speed is the best way to survive in this game. If they can't hit you, they can't kill you. Like, that's just as simple as that. So you want as much movement speed as you want. As you can see, I forgot to mention, actually, we're running 2 Swift here. So we're putting that speed up as much as we can. Just, you know. Now, Relentlessness. This is an awesome champion slot. Major protection, 10% damage taken when you are stunned or feared. It's not even when you CC break, it's when you are stunned and feared. So that's going to be when you're most, you know, vulnerable to damage, is when you're stunned or feared. So this is an awesome skill to have when you're being stunned. It's going to make you take less damage when you're at your most vulnerable. Pain's Refuge. This is self-explanatory. Great ability. I don't know how much I like it, especially how much we're cleansing on this build. But when you are in a bad situation, this is coming in clutch. This does come in clutch because the amount of just dots and debuffs that are just in the meta right now, you need this. This is needed. So I feel like Pain's Refuge is a must, but at the end of the day, you could throw on Boundless Vitality if you don't want to run this. If you don't find yourself cleansing a whole lot, you can throw on Boundless Vitality. Sustained by Suffering. I felt my Stam Sustain was a little bit too bad, so I put Sustained by Suffering. All you need is, like I said, we're cleansing a lot, but with this skill, or with this champion slot, all you need is a single negative effect. Just one. That's it. All you need is one negative effect on you, and this will proc. So, more times than not, this will be up in combat. So you don't have to worry about that. Green Tree, I mean, do what you want, really. It doesn't matter. I like Rationer a lot. You know, give me extra... you know, time on my food. My food is very expensive, or Zorg is very expensive, so extra time is always great. Liquid Efficiency, this is good also for you know, gold wise, budget wise. 10% chance to not consume your potion is awesome, or poison as well. Gifted Rider, this is great for trying to get to fights faster. 10% mount speed. Same with this. 20%. This also gives you 20% mount speed as well. So this is also big for getting to fights. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I went over there. I will be streaming this build, and I will be also posting some clips of this build here on YouTube, but I don't know how long that will take. I am loving my Nightblade right now, so I'm kind of playing my Nightblade a little bit more, but I do play this build a lot as well. If you guys want a Nightblade build, if you guys want my Nightblade build, like and subscribe. And I'll throw that Nightblade build out there pretty soon. I'll say, give me 20 likes, and I'll throw that Nightblade build out there. I'll show you guys the Nightblade build. It's very strong. It has way more X potential than Stamplar. Unfortunately, Stamplar is not very strong. I will say it's probably the worst class in the game right now. A pure Stamplar build with Rally on, worst thing in the game right now, probably. But this build works. This build, I've X'd on this build already on this patch. Like, I just threw this build together 2 days ago, and I've already gotten multiple X's on this build in open world. It's a great build. And it's good for 1v1s too, honestly. It's pretty strong for 1v1s as well. Anyways, so yeah, Nightblade build, clips of this build we'll be posting, and I'll also be playing both my Nightblade and my Stamplar on Twitch if you guys want to go check it out there. But that's the build. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all later.